Oh, Canada.
Well, the top side streets are a dangerous place, so you better tune in to a credible face like this one. Yeah, this one. And you know he's not alone, and they're coming in hot. We got a Lake so Stan and a guy who really likes baseball. I don't know why he likes baseball. We got legs and a guy in a bear suit. We're making money up YouTube clips, big ticket flips. We got potential to grow. She's in the NBA. What else can I say? You gotta get in the know. Even Washington's inside game. Live talking flag. Why are you selling so low? Those Canadian bacon and friends. Fun never ends. Come on and get on the show. Deep hole, deep hole, deep hole, deep hole.
People are freaking out right now. Why not? Lose my mind. What is happening?
This is the financial advice.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Morning Marketplace. It's Thursday. We're talking hoops today. We've got a special guest. We're going to get to the guest in just a second, so let's just see who's here. Fenny giving us dog advice. That's good. This is good advice. It is. It's hot. It's hot. I hope everybody's okay. It's hot. Devilar's here. Who else? We the people. David C. Regulator, the common man. All right. Jay Buss is here, the captain. To the house. JJL on Eastern Daily Time. Good to have you in the streets. I'll be up in Maine in like 2 weeks. Airplane Mode, Bruvendale, Mac Attack, Stubbs here, Marthans, Borland's here, Joker Rock, Jericho, Stachunk, Jamesy, Rowdy Rod, Mark, B. Foster, Chippity Chops is here, Garen's here, Chico, who else? Colin Box Breaks, good to see you. Orion, Big Ticket, John Dubs, Juan's here, ATC, Regulator, there's a Balla, Harvey for the financial advice. Who else? Will, Stans, what is this shirt? It's yeah, heat culture, dude. Heat culture. Red Dad's here. Getty, Beamer, Limsey, Big Heck. Everybody's here. Chewy, Fernandez. Everybody's here. Like the stream. Raptor News is here. Roy's here. Just completed the Magic full set with Nelson and Depot. Wow. Content wise, before we get to it, what do we have? I think Shot Tank is tonight, unless my shoot goes to hell today. But Shot Tank should be tonight. It should be on Team Hold's channel, so take a look at that tonight, 9:30 Eastern time. And then tomorrow we'll have the Morning Marketplace. We're going to dive into UFC Strike. They have a drop today, so we'll rip some max packs. And then in the afternoon we'll have a happy hour, and who knows what that's going to be. You know what I'm saying? But enough of this garbage, enough of this trash. Let's bring on some Canadian trash. TSC, what's going on, man?
How you doing, buddy? I miss you. I know I spent 4 straight days with you now. Not talking to you for a couple of days.
I know, dude. I know. Withdrawal is real. We were talking about it before we came on, but fully recovered at this point?
I'm feeling like today's the day I feel 100% again.
Yeah.
As close to 100% as I feel these days. But
right.
All I can say, it was a terrible decision going from hitting the tables with my friends straight to the airport without sleeping. That was just a terrible. That set me back. Me back for sure.
For those that don't know too, and I hope you're fine with me disclosing this TSD. So he said, I'm sorry guys, the UFC's drop is tomorrow. My bad. For those of you that don't know, TSD, so yeah, you stayed up pretty late because you had an early flight, and we're in that one of those weird zones where it's like, do you go sleep for 3 hours and wake up and feel horrible, or you just like get to the gate and then you can sleep when you get there? But we receive a photo from TST, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 hours later after he's back in Canada, and your ankles, I've never seen anything like that before. They were the size of just like jumbo softballs.
Man, it was wild. Also, I like how you're like, I hope you're okay with me disclosing this without me having any idea where you're going with this.
I felt comfortable.
Yeah. No, that's what happens when you get a middle seat for a 5-hour flight and get up or just stretch the legs. I need that aisle seat just to be able to like extend that knee, get told like 18 million times from the flight attendants that I'm in the way.
Yeah.
But
Well-
yeah, that was wild. I didn't notice that till I got home either. But like I was limping to customs when I got out of the plane, and then I got home and I like looked down at my feet. I was like, holy shit, it looks like I have 2 sprained ankles right now.
Wow. Yeah, you need those compression hoses. You're absolutely right,
Yeah.
regulator. Got to get him some compression
I'm
hoses.
at that point in my life.
I'm glad you've recovered. I feel like we've talked about Vegas a little bit. Is there any like takeaways? I feel like you haven't had a platform yet to talk about Vegas. So anything you feel like great about, terrible about, excited about?
I thought it was just like a ton of fun. All the events, they didn't have to be too complicated. Just getting to meet a bunch of people. We were well taken care of whenever we're, whether it was at the Summer League games, just getting some beers bought for us by the Top Shot team, whether it was Top Golf or whatever. But like, it was just a lot of fun. And I see a lot in the chat. All I kept getting was damn, you're so tall in real life, blah, blah, blah. But like, I'm not that tall, guys.
Well, didn't they? Yeah, but you're just around a bunch of short people. That helped.
Yeah.
I think, and it's funny. Fernandez says biggest surprise from the Vegas picks.
Oh, internet problems. Is this me or you? Who's frozen, chat? Is it me? Or is it Mike?
Am I back?
Was it me? Was it you? I don't know.
No, it was me. It was me. My computer just did an update. So which was sick. I love when they just do that.
Does it feel better now? Like
no,
high
it's
speed
worse.
now?
It's worse. It's way worse. All right. I think I'm fully back. Yeah, but I was surprised by that too, where John's like my height. Like John and I rock. But you know what? No one will ever call John short because he just has more manly features than I do, I think.
Is he as short as you?
I think so. I think it's pretty close, man. We'll have to go to the tape. Yeah, but Vegas was a blast. I had a really good time. Computers on West Coast time. This is pretty good. People are saying, did you panic when the Wi-Fi went down, TSD? Did you get nervous just now?
I just didn't know if it was you or me. So I don't know if I should be keep talking or
yeah. Waiting for the Scooby-Doo unmasking to reveal Mike is actually G done. I wish. So for those that don't know, actually, let's fire this up. I haven't done one of these in a while. And I need, we need to get likes up because I saw the video from yesterday. It was like 50 likes. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? We had a guest on. Like, this is old hat now. All right. Old hat. You turn into the show. You just smash the like button. I treat you all like your children. All right. Let's do a giveaway. Let's do it. We're going to do hashtag Short Kings today, and that's gonna enter you in for a giveaway. So like the stream, subscribe, hashtag Short Kings. Who would win in a 40? Mike, JB, TST, Jeb. On like running? Like
yeah, I assume so.
I think that would be me, boys.
Ooh, JBB, man.
I know, but
did you see him moving on the court? I was
no. JBB's quick. JBB's quick.
And me, you weren't there. It was when we were at the sportsbook with Jeb. We were talking about how his movements out there were surprisingly quick and everything. He said he used to run sprints back in high school. So that's
really
take him too.
Interesting. He looked like he could have been a linebacker too. The way he moved, like he was very quick. He was very quick. That is like the one thing I bring to the table, though, is speed. You know what I'm saying? Stolen base record, Manual College. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna give away yet, but you just be patient. Go ahead and like it. But yeah, so you fired out a video last night, which I thought it was really good. You posed a really good question on stage too, which has been since like talked about a little bit more from like the greater community. And so like as it turns to like locking and leaderboards and stuff like that. But let's oh yeah, dude, this you saw like there's a Karen crossover. That's right. Who was that on? Was that on Jeb? Did I give Jeb little Is that what happened?
He's not here to defend himself.
No, that's fine.
It was Jeb. He touched surf.
Was it Jeb? But yeah, talk to us a little bit about like your breakdown of like locking and leaderboards in general, and kind of like how what your approach has been. I'll also share the link in the chat too, so people can do it after the show, but check out TST's video.
So let's talk about that one thing that you were bringing up and what I talked about on stage, and that was kind of like my kind of first reaction because I think the blog came out while I was in the Uber on the way to the live show because we had to be there a little earlier or whatnot. So
Right.
me and JBB were just like going through the blog on our way there, and that was like one thing that stuck out, and that's what I'd asked Jacob on stage. I said, "Is there any like advantage time wise to locking?" And or has that been discussed or anything? And basically they kind of were like, he kind of brushed me off. I was like, yeah, we talked about it, but no, yada yada. But then my follow-up was like, or I guess it wasn't even a question to him, it was just that the big advantage to locking earlier is that it unlocks on the other end.
Right.
Or you have the ability to unlock it on the other end, because after a year expires it remains locked, but then you have that option whenever to do that. So that might be an advantage, but that's tough to say. That's only really if you're comfortable still for the whole year, right?
Right.
But the other thing I've reflected a little more since is that like I'm still not rushing to do too much locking with the reward coming early October, late September, whatever it's going to be, because if you think of like when is it most important to have your moments unlocked, it's
Mhm.
like during flash challenges, during challenge, like when there's the most going on. I know
Right.
we've had this squad goals things, but will we have that again next year? Is this a one-off? Like, yeah, they do things in the summer for engagement, but not as much as, a flash challenge. So I've kind of looked at it as like, is there going to be an advantage to be locked like 1 year from now, or compared to 1 year, 1 month, 1 year, 2 months, when
Right.
still the NBA season isn't going on? So I think there's going to be this 2 month grace period, kind of like until the rewards finally hit. I don't think there's going to be that big of an advantage.
Yeah.
So I've still kind of even slowed down more than maybe I thought, of like the ones that I don't think I'm going to sell no matter like for a very long time.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting because I almost went the other way where I was like, oh, that gives me more flexibility a year from now. Where like who knows what's happening then, and like having the ability to unlock if I would like to. So that was kind of where, but I also, approached it the same way where it was like shit that I wasn't gonna sell, I locked, right? So stuff that I wasn't gonna sell, I instantly locked. And then those stacks that I had of like the Nuggets, which I just am not going to list, 1,700 Jokic moments. Like I'm just never going to do, because I've seen it happen where it's like, oh, it just pumped from $3 to $4, and I was like, oh, I can sell 40 of these. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but I don't have like 5 hours to do that. Like I don't. So I'm just going to be a Nuggets holder. Like that's where. So I went ahead and locked all those up. But then anything other than that, so like my big time TSDs that I'm not selling, my Celtics and Nuggets stacks, and that's it. And the WNBA, the best of WNBA, because I know, but I also did it to like protect myself too, because I know I'm so bad at like holding stuff, which is so funny. I'm bad at cashing out too, but I'm also bad at holding stuff.
No, because someone brought it up like maybe like a week ago or 2 weeks ago in my Discord, being like, oh, like I hate that like it doesn't notify me that I'm breaking a set when I'm selling or something. And I think it was someone that had like, I don't know, a base set or something like that. And it was like, oh, I sold something. And now like, they're like, I hope the time reset doesn't matter or anything. I was like, well, like kind of locking's cool for that. It's just like, it stops you from accidentally breaking some sort of set. But we also are supposed to get news eventually by the end of the month that if we're getting any sort of set rewards or what the plan is for sets more. And then maybe that will have to do with locking as well for those. And that'd be a direction I could see them going with that as well, because airdrops can only last so long to reward everything. So at least making people lock it up gives them, less of them.
Yeah, and because they did say they want to move away from, not necessarily move away from airdrops, but move away from the way that they've been rewarding people in the past for holding sets. And Jacob mentioned it again on during the show too. So I think that's a good call. I do think that's a good call. I feel like too, and this is very speculative, so nobody like pay attention to this. I think this is just like the very beginning of what locking looks like, and I think that there will be, like, for not just locking it for a year, but like the longer something's locked, there's probably more that comes with it. Whether all of us after a year, your score, your leaderboard score goes from like each thing being worth what it's worth versus like 1.3. You know what I mean? Like getting a little boost
Yeah.
for what it's
Or,
worth, or
or
something.
almost like a relock would give you a bonus. So like after a
Yeah,
year, if you commit to another full year at that point, and it
yeah,
can kind of like keep carrying over. I could see that as well.
yeah.
But I think I think they may have swung the opposite way of like wanting things to like not be too complicated. So with
Mhm.
like multipliers and everything, I think like their experience with collector score has scared them off of like adding in any sort of complicated like multipliers, whether you have a full team set, whether you have a
Mhm.
full, all those type of things. So that'll be interesting to see how that develops over time, because I mean, it makes sense that like the longer something's in, you should get some
Right.
sort of benefit. So maybe, I mean, they might be also like, getting like having a year to kind of see what they like or not,
Exactly.
because, they don't want to overcommit to something either.
Right, and then it sucks. Right. Like that's so smart. I also do like the other thing that I've been not banking on, but so there, what did they say? There's gonna be like 4 different rewards, right? That happen throughout the year or something like that.
Minimum
Minimum.
per
I bet
leaderboard.
Yeah, I bet we see some like cool snapshot related things too that aren't announced and we find out after. And I think, you know, I like this idea. I think this has been something that people have been asking for, or a version of this for a long time now. And it does seem like most of the response has been positive, whether you're locking them up right now, you're not planning on locking, because even if you aren't someone who locks, you're like, well, we're going to see some stuff pump because there's going to be less of them. We're going to see like these team checklists, which we're going to talk about next. Like all of a sudden some bottleneck stuff is going to bump up a little bit again. So I think it seems to be like, have you seen any negative responses to this, or any
I guess
constructive criticism?
the biggest argument against it is the fact that people can be on multiple leaderboards.
Yeah.
I guess would be the only like big complaints I've heard. And I was a big proponent when they came out with the live token ones, that you could only be on your one
Mm.
leaderboard. But now that it has locking, I've moved more towards the other side. I would love to see some sort of bonus or something for your favorite team, because I think that like that should matter in some sort of way.
Yeah.
But overall, the fact that it's forcing people to commit for a year to lock moments, I think it has more positives, that people can be on multiple leaderboards. And then obviously, like, we haven't even seen the player leaderboards factor in as well, which will like have a whole other interesting thing to do with those.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, just a sidebar. Jonathan, I just want to give you a little feedback here, man. I think this is like a decent joke, but what I like to tell people is 2 things. You don't have to put LOL in front of it. Let us laugh. You know what I'm saying? You're laughing at your own joke already. There's some feedback on that. On that same note, if you do make a joke and then write JK after that, I find that offensive. So don't do that either. So the LOL before your own joke and the JK after to try to like save yourself, both of those are bad form. And Jonathan, I fuck, man. I get out there and I fuck, okay? So I just don't know if you're coming at the right people. And I've seen TST. Tall people are not virgins. That's the one thing I've learned. It's just so much easier. I have to be charismatic. I have to be funny. I have to shower regularly. TST just walks outside, and that's what happens, okay? So you came at the wrong stream. Go check out Boards to Buckets. You want to see some virgies, all right? Just Mike, I know you're in there. I know you're in there, Mike. Go see Tandy. All right. All right, let's do a little mental health check and get focused. We're gonna do 2 back to back. We can't go down this road. We can't talk about like how you need to have had sex in order to have responsibility. I just think it changes you, you know? I think it changes you. I'm proud of that. Mike, that came from a place of love. I only picked you because, yeah, just taking strays out of nowhere. I picked you because you were here. It felt fair because you were here. Oh, man. Good times. I don't even know where we are. And you know what? I feel like Jonathan doesn't even watch the streams because he comes in, he fires in one like clip, and we never see him again. Oh, man.
He
But
wasn't the one that was pretending to be bots where you weren't sure, is he?
no. He came in yesterday during the OTM show like 40 minutes late, and he was like, "This seems more complicated than DraftKings. Sell me." I was like, "Dude, go back to the beginning of the show where we explained the whole thing for the first 40 minutes." Also, this is great too. Getty said just another calm morning in Mike's house. Yeah, just waking up the beast.
There we go.
Shout out Jonathan. I love Jonathan. Oh man. All right. What else we got? I don't even remember what we were talking about.
I don't know, but that's a great joke by the Zavala.
What did he say? Okay, gets that Canadian poutine. Oh, I love it. I love it. All right. I don't know. Should we talk about the leaderboards just in general for a bit? Because I thought you had some you had some fun takes as well about that.
Yeah, let's I mean, so like I see it in kind of like there's a couple different time frames going on. Like we have this early where everyone's just like lock in, let's do it. Like I'm committed. Oh, I can do it. So they're just like climbing these leaderboards. And then I'm seeing some people be like, oh, if I lock like these 3 moments, I'm on like 500 and that's going to be the first reward. I'm top 750. But in like a week or two, we're going to get checklists. And like I looked at every single leaderboard at the 750 like placement, and the average score there was like in the 2,000 points.
Okay.
And then I looked at the max, like Lakers, I think was like 6,500, and there's some as low as 500. But like one series complete gives you 10,000 points, which would just automatically leap all
just
those
obliterates
people.
that.
And like it has like it's not even close to that. So anyone that's like locking right now, looking at that 750, those are gonna like the goalposts for those spots are gonna change so far once we get checklists that I would just caution people, because I just don't want people to be like, oh, I'm like locking these 3 moments that I'm like not attached to for a year, but I could get into that 750 mark right now on like say the Wizards. And then you're like, well, like I don't actually want these moments. I pulled them in a pack or whatever, and then they pump like because everyone's locked everything up, traded everything in. So just be careful of that. So like that's kind of like one timeline we have. So once checklists come in, we're gonna like kind of get a better idea of how these things are actually working.
Yeah, I think too, one thing, sorry to cut you off. I think and presented by On the Moment, checking out OTM's team list and seeing what you are short of too. Because that's something one that I wish I did before I locked my stuff, but I knew that I was close, that I'd only sold off like 1 or 2 of those bottlenecks that I would need. But it gave me an idea. I'm like, okay, so if I want to get that extra 10,000 or 35,000, well, it's like 10, 25, 25, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, it's 10 per series, 20 contemporary, 25 for all time.
Yeah. So I was just like, okay, I'm going to need to spend like $30 here and $40 here. So like, whatever, I'll go do it. But I do recommend checking that out, because I think that just to give you an idea before you lock. Also, this was a great joke by Biggie Boodles, his first youth pastor to declare that on a live stream, which is great. But I also agree with this too, Roy. But I think I still think people are going to have to snag a couple of these bottlenecks that they might have moved off of once it was like, oh, collector score doesn't matter anymore. So these bottlenecks went way down, because you're already seeing them start to pump again. I know Jeb posted something this week about all the things that he bought. And like I even saw it today because I have a Drummond playoff moment. I was like, why is this moving? And it's because
also to this point, it's that like, so most of those people on that. So if you don't have that, they're all going to leap 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. Like also like think series 3, right? Like no one was really trying to complete series 3 teams unless maybe it was your own team or anything, because there's no benefit to it. So like some of those teams, like for some teams that don't have like a star 4K or 4Ks that were on Rising Stars, etc., those are really cheap to complete too. So like it's quite probable that most people that are serious about these checklists will have at least another 20,000 that isn't reflected right now.
That's true. And that because Getty too said any word on if or when series 3 will count towards team sets. I imagine once like it'll count now, right?
Yeah, it's closed, right? Series 3 is done.
Yeah.
So I imagine once the series ends, like once everything's out in that series, it counts. Yeah. I'd be like, I doubt series 4, like having the one squad goals moment gives you 10,000. I doubt it, but
yeah, you know what I think the one thing that's going to be pretty interesting is What do you think the rewards have to be for people to not be dickheads about it?
So okay, we know it's going to be a moment the first time, right?
Right.
And we're assuming that moment's minted to 750.
Right.
So that's I mean, we're in the MGLE series 3
So it's like
range.
a
So
rare
we're
fun
talking,
Go ahead.
yeah. So it's it's a dynamic duo of the last decade. So it's going to have like historical. So like, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these are only worth like $75, right?
Yeah.
Like at
Yeah.
that 750 mint count, we're in
Which
that range.
which again, as long as you're not buying to get there, like if it's just like, oh, I'm locking the collection that I already had, that's cool. And it is all 750. I thought for some reason I thought like 750 qualified you for it, and then it was going to be like
A draw or something.
yeah, but it might be all 750. Maybe you're right about that.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I think the second reward will be the most interesting because I assume that's when we'll start to see snapshots.
Yeah.
And like then we're gonna have like maybe this other overreaction afterwards where like I missed that one because I didn't lock, and now I'm just locking stuff because I'm scared to miss the next one. But I think like really long term is like when we start to see like side things come off of this, where it's like, you know, maybe an NBA team wants to do something. Maybe there's some third party stuff. And that's what I also brought up in my video is the only thing I see being something that really matters between now and the first reward, as in having like locked up today versus like in a month from now, is that if any third parties start to use this, and I don't think any of the like company type ones will, but I could see captains starting to use this. And I would imagine the first captain that tries to use this would possibly give some warning and be like, hey, we're taking a snapshot Friday for this giveaway or whatever, and we're going to draw the top 1,000 off the team or whatever. And then also captains might be like, but it has to be also your favorite team or something like that, because they could add that wrinkle to it. But if that happens with one team, like look how successful it is, because the captains like watch what each other do. And like, if that's successful, we're going to do that as well because people start asking for it. So that would be one area where I could see like there'd be a reward off this before the reward from Top Shot.
I didn't even think about that. That's a really great idea. That's a really great. I love the idea of third. I mean, it could completely ruin everything, but I love the idea of the third party, like the captains being able to utilize it. Or, I mean, we're not. I don't know. I wouldn't even know the mechanics of this, but imagine being able to like create, like a community leaderboard, right? So like, you know, TST creates one, or Team Hold creates like a community leaderboard. That's done through Top Shot, so you're not managing it outside of it, right? And being able to do something like that, I feel like that'd be kind of neat. I'd be into that. It'd be a fun way to do like different, randomly do giveaways too. I think would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
There we go. Garen's already saying it. Minnesota captain's doing a hollow giveaway. Got to be in the top 500 by Saturday to qualify.
Boom. There you go. Wow. And there you go. They gave warning too, right?
Yeah.
Who is that? Garen? Garen, did they say anything about it having to be your favorite team or anything? Or they're just like, or having to be a S2 holder, any of the other like qualifications that we've seen for some of the other giveaways for team captains?
There's a bus backing up down a one-way, just slamming the horn. I don't know if you got kidnapped or carjacked or what's happening. Shapoopy's here. Let's go, Shapoopy. Sorry. I was way too distracted. You were talking to Garen, right? Sorry. Continue. What was he getting?
At this point, it's on him. He's got to respond now. It's a nice delay with the chat.
Oh, wow. Let's see. Patrick said, is there an easy way to navigate the leaderboards to see what the lowest top 750? No, they have not figured out how to do, or I haven't at least figured it out yet. But I feel like the only way to see your leaderboard is after you lock something, which is not as fun. Not as fun.
So also like they got to do like 3-4 different things. They got to click where you are on the leaderboard and it brings you there. So you can see like, you know, how much do I have to do to jump this? They need to like type in a score and it brings you that point on the leaderboard, and then type in like a spot on the leaderboard and it brings you to that. Because having to hit load more, especially when there's like a reward for 750, like there should be a button there that you click 750 and it brings you there. It necessarily have to be, you type in everywhere.
Mm.
But because I looked at 750 on every single team, and it was not that fun.
Wow. That takes way too long. Just a reminder too, hashtag Short Kings. There's only 77 entries. You got to like the stream, subscribe, hashtag Short Kings. Oh, I don't know what we're giving away yet. Ooh, Mac Attack asked, why is TSD not working for Top Shot development yet?
I'm available. That's all I'll say to that.
Oh, that's funny.
You got a month before the school year and start, so you can stag me away by then.
It's a great joke, Mike. That was good. All right, a lot of Short Kings coming in. Glad you guys figured it out. Yeah, one other thing I noticed too, because I locked my best of W set, that I immediately was like top 50 in every single team. And I know that'll change, but probably not just by having most of those team sets done anyways. I kind of dig that. Like, I mean, I'm sure, again, that'll change drastically, but I loved the idea of just having that set, and all of a sudden I qualified for a lot of stuff. And I locked it because I just didn't want to be in this position where like Asia Wilson pumped and then I sold it again. And then I'm like, okay, I'm just missing the bottleneck. It was stupid. So I'm excited. I'm kind of excited for that. I'm curious to see when team checklists get announced, how much that changes. But I'm wondering if that might be an easy way or an easier way to kind of secure yourself some top 750s,
Yeah, I'd definitely be checking those out if you have a couple team leaderboards you're planning on going after, and you don't already have like S2, S3 at least.
Yeah.
I definitely look at those before the announcement. They've already, like, people have already been buying them. Like, if you go to OTM, you can go to the team stuff. They're like all up.
Yeah.
Like every single team set for Series 2, Series 3 are pretty much up. I think the only exception was like Series 2 Houston Rockets, because they have that MGLE, and it probably pumped and then dropped back down.
Yeah. So let's talk about that for a second too, because it feels like across almost all platforms right now, like across Top Shot, UFC, NFL, like everything's up a little bit. Do we think this is do you kind of think this is like temporary because of, NFL season's about to start, locking leaderboards announced for NBA? Like, do we think this is more of a just like a temporary thing, or do you think we're finding like some new floors on this stuff? Like, what's your thought process? Because you're like a little bit more level-headed, I think, with this stuff than I am typically, where I'm like, I don't know, I'm like, oh no, we're back, it's up.
The sky's falling. No,
Yeah.
we're in the sky. For NFL, UFC, like NFL, I think a lot of the like positive rolling is kind of they slowed things down. They're trying to like decide exactly how they're dealing with maybe the fact that they made certain things too high. And then people are getting excited for football. So I think that's like the momentum like there. And with Rumble just coming out, and just like football just being way more fantasy oriented than basketball. Like, there's rare that you have a football fan that isn't into like DFS or a season long like fantasy league. Whereas like a lot of basketball fans aren't into DFS. So like, you'll see like as a season approach, probably more of an uptick in NFL versus basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I think is going on for Top Shot is just that we have deflationary actions getting ramped up and introduced for the first time. And then we have like very little supply coming out. And that has happened already in the past. Just when supply shuts down, things start to do better. And then there's like some trickle effects. And then like we have three deflationary things that are going on, right? We have burning for the first time. We have trade tickets that got just absolutely accelerated once they threw a couple MGLEs and hollows. People were so nuts for those.
We are so stupid.
Yeah, but like at least they're like we're not as dumb as when we were opening them when there wasn't those in them.
No. I agree. I'm not saying it was a bad move.
No, I think they're fun, and like people just need, as long as people have realistic like expectations, then I'm like all for it. But like if people are like, I opened 200 and I didn't get it, it's like, yeah, well, there's like 5,000 total. There's 500,000. Like there's going to be people who open a lot more. But it's something to do with those moments too in your account. And then with locking, like we're gonna see like the more like long-term grail type moments have deflationary in a sense because they're not available for a year. So that's like a different aspect of it. And I think too, it's just like maybe those people that are more on the investing side, more on the like pure collecting side, them getting to like hit that lock button is like reassuring to them because they're like, I was already doing this. Now I'm going to benefit from holding this in some sort of
Yeah.
way.
And part of the like deflationary thing of like some of those grails that you mentioned that just kind of occurred to me right now because it was like, okay, so say there's 1,000 of the LeBron TSDs. I would say most people aren't trying to sell that anytime soon. So say I don't know, like 300 of those get locked, right? So now we're talking about a moment out of 700. Depending on when people lock them too, it kind of feels like, I mean, right now it's hard to tell because everybody's locking in this like 2-month period. But as we like move further away, if we say on average, and maybe this is me just throwing numbers out, like I don't have any science or math that backs this up, but all of a sudden this moment like forever kind of becomes out of 700 in a way. Because if people are locking at all different times and you have to like min lock for a year, I guess that's actually, I'm talking myself off this point now because after a year, it doesn't matter anymore. Right. So that my point being was like, if people are locking at different times, it's kind of like forever. We're going to have a much lower min count for some of these moments that are, out of not a big number.
Yeah. And what I kind of want to circle back to on that point is that it's not actually that like it's going to make a huge difference deflationary. Because if we look at those grail moments, there's so few listings.
Right.
So like a lot of those big accounts or whatever were, already just kind of like had it and forgot it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now what I think it is it actually might drive some like interest to pick up other things because they will feel like they're benefiting, whether or not in 3 months time, they're like, those leaderboard rewards suck or that's not enough or whatnot. I think just the fact that you're getting recognized in some sort of way by holding and committing, that will maybe incline some bigger spending. I don't really know if that's true or not because I'm not in those streets. I'm not dropping $10,000 on a moment, but
why not,
hey, hey, you don't really need a house, right? But also they might kind of be looking at it as like the earlier I lock these big ones, the more flexibility I have. Like I'm long on Top Shot. I think like I want to hold this stuff for 5 years, but I want to get those rewards as early as possible and then have that flexibility from a year on.
Yeah. That makes sense. That does make sense. I don't know. What else do we want to talk about? Let's remind the people here. Short Kings. Get those like, subscribe. # Short Kings. I don't know what we're giving away yet. Probably some garbage.
Some short player on the Kings, clearly.
Ooh, that's good. Speaking of, how about Harrison Barnes just being like, you know what? Fuck these Series 1 moments. I'm out.
Fuck Jason Tatum.
Yeah, Jason Tatum. There was a Tyrese Maxey debut he sent in. There was like 3 or 4 nice ones. Now, it begs the question, do you think, did he do it for the clout? Did he...
Yeah,
does he
definitely
does he hate Tatum or does he just lock? Like, did he think he was locking and he was trading them in?
It's odd timing.
Yeah.
There was also, I think I saw someone say that he had all the pieces to do one of the burning challenges. But he didn't do it. So then like they were talking like maybe sending these to Top Shot and they're gonna hook him up or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't know how. I just read that in some Discord, so like don't quote me on that, or I'm not saying that that's what's going on, but it was very strange what was going on there, and I hope there was like a method to his madness. He's not just like clicking around, but hey,
if
he wants some help at all the new features because it's changed a lot. Maybe when he was in the streets, he's welcome to come on any of our channels. I'm sure he's watching right now to see our reaction.
Yeah,
to
Harry,
trading in Tatum. He probably did it just to see your reaction to trading in Tatum. He's like, you know what? Fuck Mikey's ass.
It didn't affect me at all. B Bleezy thought it was specifically a marketing play by Tapper, by Pack stuffed by Harrison Barnes. Yeah, interesting. I don't know. Honestly, I feel like it was just dumb. I think he just made a dumb move. Then that is very Kings like, you know what I'm saying? Apparently, someone's
He's
saying
got to
John.
get out of Sacramento.
Yeah. Someone's saying John just tweeted about it. Let me just see what he said. Okay. All right. So I can't believe I'm just sharing John's shit on show. Like that's what we've turned into. He said, "Hey, Top Shot community, quick question about this part of the blog. Currently, Austin Reeves 4K rookie moment is named for the LA checklist. If he gets another moment in S4, would it be able to be used to satisfy the contemporary or all time? Interesting. Okay, I feel like that
Well,
would count.
prior to the conclusion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
Prior to
definitely going to be able to use for the contemporary all time, but
okay,
it's whether or not you can do it before S4 is over or not.
interesting. Okay. Interesting. Have you been doing these the locker room packs? I know we were talking about that for a second. Have you been doing them?
No. Well, I mean, I bought my MGLE one. That's what I did on my flight
Yeah.
out to Vegas. I was just trading in tickets to buy that.
Mhm.
I plan on doing a little bit, I think, like just here and there, maybe. But I've just been too lazy to comb through my collection. And
Yeah.
and I'm also like right now, I'm like, I don't know, with locking, with all this stuff, like there's a lot of like, I don't know, early in the season flash challenges before we get too many commons rolled out. We might be things might pop more than we're thinking right now. That locker
Yeah.
room is getting pretty big, and but also like I'm kind of watching like the odds for those hollows and the MGLE as people open them. Like they released the numbers before, and I
Yeah,
think
it's like
I
100.
think the hollow odds were up, like not as many had been opened,
Mhm.
like that we would have thought. And then MGLE, I think, might have been, it was pretty around the same. But I mean, so that's also interesting, something to track. And I'm sure one of these third-party sites will have that up soon.
Yeah, I basically kept doing it until I got an MGLE, and then once I was getting one, I was like, "All right, I'm done." But I think it took like 120. I think it took, and I got a what was it called? A manual quickly that I instantly sold to buy some all day moments. I'm back in the all day streets. Mike said, "Are we taking requests from the chat to check Twitter? Do we need to check in on Tony V if we're randomly checking in on JBB?" I think Tony V tweeted yesterday. I think right? Didn't Tony V tweet? I forget what it is now. It's you know what we could talk about? Did you see everybody got mad at the fake economist yesterday? Which I thought was funny, right? Like I didn't think it was a good tweet, but I love the idea of people getting mad at it. Let me pull it up real quick. We can do
There
this.
was a lot of talk in Vegas of who that was, and people telling people they got to admit to it. We know it's you, and type stuff, and like no one knows.
Who were they saying that to? That they
Oh,
was it Jeb?
Well, there was. I don't know if people know this, and I don't know if I should be sharing. But at one point, The Economist and JBB had a chug off
Oh, nice.
at Summer League, and then maybe there was a point where someone said that if The Economist won, JBB had to admit that he was the fake Top Shot economist, and like
Yeah.
then it just the conversation sprung,
Spiral.
being like no, and it was like, Pack Rip, do you know who it is? Like everyone was like, everyone really wants to know who it is, and it seems no one knows.
That's funny.
Who it
If
is.
I don't think it's anybody we know. I don't think it's a hashtag influencer. I don't. And if I learn that it's Jeb for the amount of times he sent it to us in a DM thread about a new tweet, I'll be so mad because he'll be like, ha 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 ha, this is crushed. And if I learn it's him, he's in trouble.
Yeah, but that's kind of on brand, no?
Yeah. Oh, I love this take right here. The plot twist: fake economist is the economist.
That was it. So Weisberg was there. I think he filmed the chug off, but that was like an immediate like accusation that happened in
I
person.
love
and he
that.
denied it.
But this right here. So this was the tweet everybody got mad about. He said, "You're all so addicted to Top Shot that you will do anything to convince yourself it's back. A small group of gambling addicts keeping the floor at $3 isn't going to be enough to recover the $7K you spent to join the 9 Lives Lounge." Then everybody got like so mad about like there were so many replies. Even Janie. Wait, what? Oh, that's funny. I get it, guys. If you don't think it was that funny, that's fine. But listen, guys, like Library, you're one of them. Look at this. 40 wait, I want to make sure I'm getting the number right. 40 fucking replies to a parody account. It's a parody account you're replying to.
Yeah.
Like nothing that's good. Like no one, it's like the people that share the Onion articles and are like, can you believe it? Like, it's a parody account. God damn. And that wasn't a good tweet. That was not a good joke. But like 40 people were like, we got to let this guy know. Like, unreal.
So part of the reason that happened, I think, is that like that account has too high of expectations. They're like, he hits it a home run every single time. And then like he put one out and people are like, wait, is he not joking anymore? Is this serious? I think it was just a joke that missed, guys.
Yeah, that's all it was. That's all it was. Like that's happened before. Like, you know, I went too hard. The ballers community got too upset at Tony for going after him too much. And then people are like, dude, this is old stick now, old hat. I'm like, you just spent time replying to Tony V. Like, what are you guys doing? Mike says, by the way, we did get an understanding on why Janie does GIFs. She worked at Reddit and the company culture was about using GIFs. Yeah. I mean, that I was like, okay, I don't know.
I don't know how to respond to this.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, dope. It was great that, by the way, like speaking of the live show, it was dope that that she came on the show, and it was funny to and like, listen, there was no world where she was going to come on the show and I was going to make fun of her, right? There was no world in which that was going to happen because that's a terrible look. But she was very funny and came on and made fun of me, and I was glad that that happened. It was really good. She dunked on me like 2 or 3 times that were pretty solid. And
Yeah,
listen,
she was a good sport.
She was a good sport, and she was willing to she was willing to take questions from the community and like have to respond on the spot. I thought that was nice. Like she didn't have to do that, and it was good. Or am I afraid it's poison? No, I really did. I had a nice time talking to Janie, and I've said this from the beginning. I've said this so many times. Like, it's never a personal thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's about Top Shot. It's never personal. So, although that one I guess it did feel a little personal by the end of it. But it was good. I was good to meet her and then not have to, buried the hatchet. Should she be dunking on anyone yet? No, me, yes. I do think that was she should be dunking on me in that situation. I don't know. Anything else? What else? Now there's an ambulance out here. There's an ambulance that's now backing up too. I'm gonna.
They're saving the people on the bus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but they went the wrong way. I need to, when I take the dog out, I'm gonna find out. Maybe there's like the streets shut down or something like that.
Or someone turned the sign on the one way or something.
Yeah. Oh man. Anything else? What else do we need to cover?
I feel like there was
while we think of this, remind the people, Short Kings, baby. Get those Short Kings in. Like the stream, subscribe, Short Kings.
Oh, I was just going to bring up, so I go into more detail in my video, but kind of like how I'm thinking of like what I'm going to choose to lock.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically like the top of the list is like grail type moments, never moving off these or don't plan to. And then the next thing I'm looking at is like rares of players that I have other rares of that are higher circulation or lower priced. And then like keep those unlocked, lock the other ones. And then the next level is like rares that I own, but out there is higher circulation, lower price, because those would be the ones that pump. So the one I lock doesn't. Moments that are in sets that I'm planning on keeping, even if I'm not locking the entire set. If I'm just trying to climb one leaderboard, I might lock something in that. And then the last thing is any collector score bags. So like for me, Raptors like were a pretty popular one.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, I was like buying them for like between $7 and $8.
Hell yeah!
Sometimes $9. And like, what's the max I could sell during a pump? Like maybe $4 if I was lucky. So like,
right.
What is more valuable to me, climbing the Raptors leaderboard with 80 Top Shot score, or getting that $4 in Dapper, and then the maximum Top Shot score that I'm going to get is going to be half that. So, those CS stacking, if you actually like that team that you did it with, which I was just lucky that the Raptors were available, because if they weren't like a lower cost one,
right,
I would have been holding a bag of a leaderboard I didn't care about. This wouldn't be helping me at all.
Collect what you love. A couple of comments I wanted to share that were good. Mike said, "Fun fact: I'm actually chatting from that ambulance after taking a stray."
That's
Good
great.
callback. Red Dad said, "At least you weren't in the Discord publicly wishing you had sold moments when she was named." I don't think I didn't do that, right? Are you saying like people did that though? I don't think I did that because
Did
I
you
knew
do that, real Rat Dad?
I don't think Red Dad did that either. Red Dad's been on board for a while.
Did I do that?
No. I don't think I did. I don't think I did either because that would have made it seem like I didn't know that she was already the GM, and we already knew. And David, said, I know this was asked a couple of times and I missed it earlier. Did you guys hear any rumors about the run it back being from 86, 87? The only thing I saw was Patrick Mahomes going like deep into the conspiracy wells.
I mean, I don't know if it's that deep.
You think that was 86 based on like what he shared? You think that's
So you think he just randomly picked random clocks and ended up being 86, 87 with a dash? And happens to be when the Magic was from, and the fact we're supposed to get another Magic in a run it backpack.
I'm gonna be so pissed if it's 86, 87.
I think it's a poor decision.
Yeah, I just like. I mean, I think we've had this conversation on stream before, right? Like, I'm gonna be like, I know they're gonna do run it backs again, and 86, 87 was an incredible year, but the only reason I really don't want it, I just think like what they did with Magic was so cool, and like you got to do that with the rest of the guys from 86, 87, and if it's, if all of a sudden like Larry and Kareem and actually was Kareem is still playing in 86, right? But whatever, Larry and Jordan, like if all of a sudden all of these guys come onto the platform at once, I'm gonna be a little bummed, I think. I mean, they probably can't do the same thing. They probably can't do the same thing they did like with the anthology series. I just like if they all, I don't know. I feel like that is such a cool way to onboard people or like have a tentpole event by like introducing one of like the all-time greats to the platform, and like they did with Magic. And I would kind of suck if they just like open the fire hose,
Bring up Tom's from a bit ago for the Raptors and Durant.
Okay, yeah, you just don't want to talk about the 86, 87 thing that we just talked about. You're too focused on Durant right now. All right, go ahead. Give me the KD take.
So I am a huge OG fan. Like he's Scotty might be overtaking him as my favorite Raptor, but like I've been calling him Kawhi 2.0 since basically they got Kawhi.
I've already talked to you about this. You can't call him Kawhi 2.0 if he's not going to be better.
Yeah. What happens if he's going to be the same?
He's not going to be the same.
When I was calling him that, he was going to be. Then injuries, like your appendix bursting in the playoffs. But basically, I'll accept any trade that Scotty Barnes isn't. I'll be able to get over whoever is shipped out. The fact that you only said one pick, sign me up. Like one pick, OG Pascal.
He's not going to Toronto, boys. He's playing.
He's playing in Brooklyn, actually.
Yeah, he's staying in Brooklyn. How old is OG Anunoby? I just looked it up. I'm curious if you know.
What is he now? 23, 24 max?
So he's 25. All right. He's already hit his ceiling. He's gone, dude. He's going to retire.
Whoa. Like minus 2 seasons in there.
Yeah. OG, I'm trying to think of who OG Anunoby is like now. Where it's this
is going to hurt me, right?
Yeah.
I just leave now?
I feel like we see it with baseball a lot where they're like, well, here's the next thing.
Okay.
We're like, how old is he? We're like 29. We're like, wait.
Wait a second. I thought I was going to get insulted because you're going to name some basketball player, and you went to a whole other level and hit me with a comparison to baseball.
When I'm going to insult, I'm going to insult.
No offense, Greg.
All right. Last call to like the stream, subscribe, #ShortKings. The one thing too I didn't talk about yet, and I'm not going to make you talk about it at TST, but I felt like I needed to bring it up at some point because I forgot to yesterday. So it looks like Miles Bridges is facing quite a bit of time and was charged with like felony of domestic abuse, not only against his wife but also his child abuse. So fuck him. That's all I wanted to get out there. I didn't want it to seem like I wasn't going to talk about it, but I have no time for that. I hope no bags come your way, sir.
I heard it was
It's
like
terrible.
8 to 10 years jail time. You say?
Yeah, it was bad. That if he's like fully convicted, I don't know. He pled not guilty, it looks like. So we'll wait for the courts to decide. But I'm the court of public opinion. Yeah, but it's pretty bad. That's pretty gross. But yeah, I wanted to make sure I at least talk about it. Hot take: I say bonus moments. Top Shot should provide liquidity to moment owners. I do I get what you're saying, Mike, but so you should have just said we should all, as like good people, burn his moments. But you're like, also just give us a little cash money, baby.
Just for ashes, do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. What about this? Look at everybody making their Bridges jokes. What if they do a challenge where if you burn every single Miles Bridges you have, you get one of two options. You get an NFT of just a bridge around there, or just like any bridge, or you get just Mikkel Bridges. You just go back and get Mikkel Bridges instead.
No, so what Top Shot should actually do is that like you burn them, and then however many are burned, they donate to a charity of domestic abuse prevention or whatever. That's what they should do.
That is what they should do. That was a nice idea. That was a nice idea. What else? Yeah, get those short kings in. Get them in. How many entries are we up to right now? 123. We love to see it. I still don't have a script for the thing. I just checked my email. I'm supposed to leave in like an hour. No script. This makes me think it's going to be a long day, but Shot Tank should be back at 9:30 Eastern tonight. It's going to be right here on Team Hold. I don't know. Do we have John Boy back? Is John Boy back in the streets?
What do you mean?
Because he hasn't done Shot Tank. Well, we haven't done Shot Tank either, but he hasn't been. I remember he couldn't do a month or something, so I couldn't remember if he's back tonight. But anyways, that'll be tonight.
Tune in to find out.
Oh, dude, what a tease. That'll be tonight. Tomorrow morning marketplace, we'll talk about the UFC drop. We will.
Is that today or tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It's tomorrow. I said it was today.
I'm actually looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I'm having fun with it as well. I've also been buying some NFL all day too. I waited till we got to the top, and then I started buying. Exit liquidity for the people.
I wanted to know what Rumble was about, but obviously everyone was waiting for that. So
yeah, Rumble's gonna be fun. I'm gonna enjoy it. There we go. What a callback!
Great.
What a callback, Mike. All right, let's spin the wheel. We're gonna get out of here. TST, anything you need to plug, TST?
Go watch that video I posted.
I'll put it in the show notes too. But I dropped it in the chat earlier. Here we go. Winner. If you win this, shoot me a DM. Who's it going to? It is going to Aaron Borland. There we go. Bordog with a big W. Maybe I'll find some Minnesota to send your way. But thanks everybody for tuning in. TSC, thanks for coming on, man. This is always better. I know since you're on summer mode, we're gonna try to do this once a week. You might also have to help while I'm gone for 2 weeks. Might have to have you come in here and host for me a couple of times.
Yell at some people in the chat. Play with some sex bots.
Let them know you bang.
How good would it have been if they showed up during that talk?
Oh, that would have been perfect. Again, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Join the Discord. Do all the things. We will see you tonight. We are out.
Well, the Top Shot streets are